Good morning, everybody. Let me just check the mic. I'm just going to jump right into it. I apologize. I'm reconfiguring the computers and the mics and everything. So bear with me. I'm going to jump right into a lot of this stuff today. No special song, no nothing. There's a lot going on, like a ton. So what we'll do is we'll get to the basic stuff, and then we can kind of go from there. So I just want to, this is something that I was looking at today, and I know a bunch of you guys are going to say it because I hit vol scan. I don't know why the shorts are so trapped in this, but they are. So I don't know how the heck they're going to get out. But if you go and take a look at this and the short interest in this, it's a real pickle for them. Maybe we should spend a little time on it so people can see this, so you can kind of understand where what the real issue is with this, and we'll go from there. But I got to change a bunch of stuff around here. Yeah, it looks like it's 72% of the float is what it is. So there it is, 72% of the float is short. So I think these guys are just freaking hosed. There's no other way to say it. I would watch this super closely today. So I think that this thing's just going to be nuts. Off this measured move, just off that move alone, that one move was $25. So I just don't see what they're going to do or how the heck they're going to get out of it. Now, there was a secondary that was done, and it looks like everybody thought they were going to get out through the secondary, and then they're not getting out of anything. So trying to put that together this morning was kind of hard. So trying to figure out the moving parts. Just disclosure, I do have a position in it. I just don't know how they're going to get out of it without this turning into an absolute disaster for them. I really just don't know how else to say it. So I always size these things like an option, but meaning that I don't do a ton of them. If I'm to look at the market, what we've done today is we've created a problem and then we fixed the problem. And I don't know. I don't know how much longer this is going to go on for, where it's going to be like, good news, there was a problem, but we fixed it. But it's like, but yeah, buddy, you created the problem. So you're getting really wedged in here. And I'm going to just say this. I would be super careful, like really careful, on thinking that everything's rosy this morning. You're right back to that itchy level from December 18th. You're sitting right here where you can't hold that Doji seems to be in control of everything. I would just watch this like really closely and watch what happens with it. That's really where my head is with it, and how I would view this. I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't think more about it than that. I would not think that everything's just going to be fine. I really want to see the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, and I really want to see what happens going forward with Nvidia. I think that that's going to be a huge catalyst, up or down. I mean, I have my opinion on it, but I really don't think people understand how important that's going to be. There are levels that I'm definitely interested in. Obviously, anyone that's not looking at the Wednesday, 10-year bond, there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do to help you, but you should be looking at that. I think that's super important. And I definitely think it's something that we should be paying attention to. I really do. I think that's a very important level. Hold on one second, and then we'll go from there. Give me 1 second here to mute this. I do think you want to watch this level like a hawk. And can we get through it? Can we not get through it? I'm not really sure. You have some other stuff like right here you've been sitting with, but do I need all these levels? You might want to watch a lot of little levels today, and I'll tell you why. Because it's that kind of day. you're not going to have a ton of capital commitment ahead of what you have coming tomorrow. You're just not. You're going to have a lot of, how can I say this? You're going to have a lot of just garbage. And I think it's going to be a garbage kind of day, quite frankly. So, and what do I mean by that? I mean that you're going to have these levels like here, watch on the NQ. You're going to have these levels that like are usually minor levels, and then all of a sudden they're going to matter. Here, watch. And like everyone's like, oh, we're back. Like you're not back to anything, man. Like here, this is where you had a bond offering on the 20-year. This is what the market did. So you have these like little secondary levels, as I refer to them, and everyone's getting like all giddy about them. Even here with Sunday, like, okay, well, maybe we're going to hold this, maybe. But there's a lot of reasons why you might not hold. So my inclination here, frankly, is the exact opposite. So if I was to, if I'm to look at this on like a 5-year, hold on, let me just drop this down. Oh, I'm sorry, on a 5-minute, look how you're over. Look how fast you got overbought. And then look where you're at. So there's a lot there. I'm going to make sure I have these settings right. Yeah, I do. I was hoping that was a fast, but it's not. So do I need to be that guy that's like rushing into this right now? No, I don't. So, it's something where you gotta like read the room a little bit, I guess is the best way that I can explain it, where I really want to see how this goes off the open. I don't know that you're going to get this whole, I got to get in. I got to get in now. Why? Because the mess that you created on Thursday, you fixed on Tuesday. Like, what does that have to do with the bond market? I mean, the bond market spoke. Like, you can say anything you want, but you still have the same issues. You still have the same issues. Like, I can be, you can be as subjective as you want. I'm like, oh, well, we averted the tariff issue. You averted the issue that you created on a Thursday, and you averted it over the weekend with a phone call. Okay. Like, wow, that's great. Congrats. I have an idea. Maybe don't create the issue to begin with. But like, there's a certain level, I don't know how else to say this. There's a certain level of smoke and mirrors that's going on right now where don't look at this. Don't look at this. Look what happened here with tariffs. But good news is we fixed it. This didn't go away. The demand for bonds did not increase because we doubled tariffs and then took the tariffs off 72 hours later. Like, so you have to understand that there's a certain level of smoke and mirrors going on here right now. And there's only so much that people are going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And then after a while, they're going to be like, I don't know why you're not working with me. If you could work with me, that would be fantastic. But you're going to get to a point here where it's not going to matter anymore. You're only going to be able to cry wolf so many times. And then people are just going to be like, okay, well, you still didn't fix this problem. You're just creating other problems and fixing those problems and then saying, don't worry about that. That'll fix itself. And I do think that that's an issue. And I don't see us anywhere near this level. So if I can't get over the level, which was the real problem, and I'm getting over the level that was the fake problem, why do I care? Hopefully that makes sense to you. I got a lot of really good response for doing the advanced video. So I'm going to do the advanced video on RSI. Hopefully I'll have some of it done this week. I'm also going to do a series on some other stuff that I think is super important, but some like really simple mistakes people keep making. And then they email me. Feel free to email me. But so then that puts us looking at like the big dogs on the week. So you didn't want to buy it when it was down here when you had all day, but the fact that now you really want to buy it. Like, I mean, why not just donate to St. Jude's? You'd save yourself a lot of trouble. Money would at least go someplace good. But, unless you're going to get through like 137 today, like, what do you care? Like, why do I need to be in now? I think you're better off just waiting for the gap fills down, right, to those levels, and then go from there. Like, oh, just wait for 131. Like, why do you have to pay up $3? Like, if you keep doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results as everybody else. It's freaking exhausting. But what you want to do, kind of sound angry today, but what you want to do is you just want to look at these levels and then go, okay, well, I see where I'm at. Well, have you gone anywhere? Well, no. All right. So the Asia level, you're not above. 5:30, you tried. 7 o'clock, retail couldn't get out fast enough. And now you're banging on retail's door. Like, why do you care? Like, why do you have to be in that name, right? And that's really how I look at that. Like, why do I have to be in this? Like, for what purpose do I have to be in that name? And I think that that's really how you should be viewing it. That's my opinion of it. Anyway, some of these other names that are out there, Tesla. All right, there's the 350. You're nowhere near it. Why do I have to buy it? Like, and I think that's how you have to view this stuff. Are you going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe? Is everything better? Do you have to buy the market today? Why? Why? Like, for what reason? And I think that people better start being a little cautious up here. The advanced decline line looks like crap, for lack of a better term. I was talking to one of the guys that I work with, and let me show you this, because this is pretty much everything. Like, and it just is. So, like, here's New York Composite, and this is the summation. See that cross? Like right here, go bet against that cross. Let me know how that goes. It doesn't go very well, especially if that crosses and then breaks the zero line. If it crosses and then breaks the zero line, that's when you have an issue. Now, you're still above it, but when it crosses and it breaks the zero line, or if it crosses and it breaks the zero line, like, you don't want to play here. And what you're starting to really run into here, quite frankly, is same levels over and over again are being respected. And then on top of that, the real issues are not being fixed. So that in and of itself becomes a real problem. And just keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff today. The one thing I will say, let's go to the breadth, because this is important. The breadth of the market, 250, 25, and I will get into this tonight. But yeah, you're due for some kind of bounce, because the fives are at single digits. So you're due for some kind of bounce. But the 200's below 50 again. The 50's hanging in there. The 20's below it. But these types of bounces, when I'm below the 50 on the majority of these, like, I need to be above 50 on all three of these, those bounces are short-lived. So you're going to come in today and you're going to get some huge reading on this, right? You'll probably be, who knows what the reading will be by the time we close. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, we bounced. It's going to be like this, like, oh, we bounced. And then you're going to have a couple of days of it. And then you're going to be beholden to whatever happens to Nvidia and have to go from there. So super important concept to get here. And that's why I don't think that people should be rushing into anything here. I think you just kind of watch it. And I would just keep watching this level where we cut rates and he was unable to explain his actions, which led to that bearish engulfing, which you've never, ever gotten over this bearish engulfing right here. Like, you've never gotten over it. It's just completely matumboed you, right? You can see the break here. Why'd you cut rates? I don't know. And then we tried to flip it, bonk, and then here. So you have a real issue out there. And I think the Fed minutes tomorrow are going to really, really be an issue. I do. I think they're going to really be an issue out there. Other things that are, people seem shocked by, PDD, which sells all those little tchotchkes that people have to buy. They missed earnings. I don't know why people are shocked by this, considering the tariffs. But if you had a poster child for the company that was going to be hit by that the most, it was going to be PDD. Yeah, if you can't even get above that VWAP, I don't even know why you would bother. I really don't. I'm going to go through names as fast as I can for you guys. and then we'll go from there. But I would expect a lot of volatility today, and I don't know that you need to really be doing a lot right now. Oh, I do want to bring this up, X. The more I read about this, the more it's probably a full-blown merger, and he's just calling it a partnership, which is really a problem for him, and it's going to be a problem for the administration. I think he should just say that I agreed to the merger because they agreed to do this. But this language thing he's trying to do, the headquarters will stay here. No, the stock's supposed to go away. The more I read about it, the more it's a full-blown merger. At $55, maybe it's not the worst idea to still short in case he gets so much rhetoric from it. He's got to back out of it somehow. I don't know. But this rally he's supposed to be holding on Friday, I don't think that thing's going to go the way that he thinks it's going to go. So that's my opinion of it. And we'll go from there. But let's get to questions. What's up, Jay? Yeah, I think that really what you have to do is a lot of people are like looking at these call walls and everything else with Nvidia, and it's all a bunch of crap. If Nvidia comes out and raises guidance and gross margins are good, the stock's going to go up considerably. And we've been through this before with Nvidia, and we've been doing it for some time where, no matter how you want to look at it, you have a base. If people say the base is too big, it's whatever, it's a base. So if you really look at this area from back here over, you haven't gone anywhere. Like, you really have not gone anywhere. You've just kind of bonking around, right? People buy the dip down here. They're selling the rip up here. Okay. Eventually, that's going to do something, right? And that's not rocket science. But we dealt with this before. And just watch them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you dealt with this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you were exploding by the fourth one. And everyone here was saying the same thing between 37 and 53. Oh, that's not a base. You guys will remember this. This was the end of it, right? This is when it was never going to go any higher. So, if you've been following this channel for some time, we bought this and we were pretty vocal about, I'm not selling it until, we had lack of demand, or there's a threat to demand. But you have these bases, and then people are like, oh, well, no, it's just never going to break. Okay. And then wham. And I think you're heading for something like that. I don't know how they don't take up earnings. Like, I don't know how they don't take up guidance. The only thing that concerns me with it is the new chip for China is a lower price point, which probably means it's lower gross margins, which could affect their gross margins, which could hurt them off the rip. And that is a concern of mine. That is a concern. But, it is what it is. But this idea that, oh, I'm only going to go up to this level, I think people could be way off on earnings. I mean, Saudi Arabia, UAE weren't able to buy chips. They definitely put orders in for chips now, didn't they? Nobody has that in their numbers. So everyone's so worried about China. Can China go and buy chips? Who do you want to buy chips? China or Saudi Arabia? Like, if you could have somebody as a client, who do you want? I don't know anything about this, buddy. And TCOM. I don't know anything about these names. TCOM and KView. Nothing. So I'm not going to be able to add a tremendous amount there. Yeah, the bond auctions will be interesting. Crowd super interesting. I can't get over the way it's moving after he sent everybody home for 2 weeks, but it does not really seem to care. And then he transferred all these stocks and all these shares into someone else's name. And nobody seems to care. Like, nobody cares. So I don't know. I don't know that I want to get involved up here. Yeah, this one's been a pickle for me. Those lawsuits went nowhere. Here's your double. Here's your undercut. Watch this too. It's crazy with the RSI. There's the undercut, and then it holds, and you're up like 100 points from there. So there's definitely some things there that look really good, John. Dash, anything with an app looks fantastic. The question just really boils down is today the day? GEV just going to be an absolute monster. Anything in that space is going to be a monster. You have all these double, everyone can see these positive divergences now, and everyone says, RSI doesn't work, but whatever. The question really is like, do I have to be there today? And I don't have an answer to that. I don't think I have to own these today. What's up, Sammy? You're going to get this lift, and I think you're going to see a lot of action in this tomorrow night too because of Nvidia. It will move because of Nvidia, hands down. I don't think there's any reason why it won't. I think these names are moving the most because they're the most shorted, because they have no revenue. I don't know that they're the names that I want to buy. And some of this stuff like, pardon me, let me get something to drink. And part of me, like, why are you bidding down? Did they do a secondary today? They probably did their secondary, right? Or Racing Capital. I can see if I can pull it up real quick. See if I can find that. But there's no money here. Like, they don't make any money. So, if you don't make any money, the question really becomes, they're probably just going to do a secondary, right? And that's probably what they're doing. So there's no reason to really get involved with it. Yeah, they're doing a private placement. Institutional investors, they just did a private placement. There's your answer at $27. So that's a pretty easy trade on where that'll go to. So those people just got a bunch of free money. So something like that, you usually sell down on those. You probably go back to that level. I mean, why wouldn't you? You just got free money. So, and what's crazy about that too is they didn't even warn anybody. They just did it. They didn't even say that they were going to do it. It's the problem with this stuff. They don't say squat. They just do. Let's keep going here. Yeah, you're probably going to just keep trading down on that. I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, no one's going to go, oh, I need to buy more. Usually you can make money off those. If you can get it at the IPO price or that secondary price, you can actually make money off of it. But you probably want to watch that. They did this before. It took a couple of days for it to work itself out. But I would think OKLO, I'm surprised that they haven't done it yet either. Or SMR, like all these companies, why wouldn't they do it? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's free money. What's up, Alan? The nuclear sector is going to be on fire. Out of those, like Intuit crushed. They crushed. I just don't like that. Like that does nothing for me. That bar. I'll just stay away. Tesla, he's like, I'm back at the helm. Everything's great. I'm at a lot cheaper. I have no interest in chasing this thing. To me, where would I even think about it would be like get up, over 350, maybe, but up $10, I have zero interest in chasing any of that stuff. Like at all, at all. Let me just see something here. I really hate, they make these changes to this thing. And their changes suck. It's like, oh, good news. Everything's working fine. Oh, quick, make changes. And Meta, I would be real careful with here. You have a lot of very similar patterns on these names. I would start be thinking like, what's the catalyst for that? And kind of go from there. Pardon me. I got to get this whole desk reset up and everything's been a mess. What's my catalyst? Why do I have to own that? I don't feel that way. Good morning from Tokyo. Good morning from Miami. TME. I'm not going near anything like this right now, dude. I'm just not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just not. I don't know that I want to buy India here. I actually think you should be on the other side of these things, but I think you got to be super careful here until we get through some of this stuff. I don't know, man. I'm no expert in this thing. I just think it's cool. I'm going through these real quick to see if there's something here that's worth talking about. I gave the levels. You should have them. Taiwan semi. I mean, you really want to do that before earnings? This is where the cool kids are. What's up, Martin? It really feels like here. It really feels like here's your. It does kind of feel like, hey, here's your bag of crap. All right, kids, off you go. Like it kind of does feel that way this morning. I'm not gonna lie. Good morning from Phoenix. I don't know enough about how they're going to benefit from this Golden Dome multi-trillion-dollar package. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying, but no, I'm never on time. Well, that's what it is. It's the problem is like the problem is they keep creating an issue, and then as they create the issue, they're trying to distract from the other issue. It's not going to work, right? Like it's not going to work. Oh, wasn't? Demand was so bad that 40% of them went at the high. Demand was a disaster. You might want to rethink that statement. Who wants the market to go down? Dude, bro, don't ever say my name with those two people. Like, ever. That LTBR, I don't know. Got some people that are playing that. I don't know enough about it, candidly. I truly don't know enough about the stock to talk about it intelligently. I can tell you from a technical standpoint, somebody wants to be in it. I mean, that's pretty freaking clear. You might want to say, like, you might want to look at it like from here. You know, like maybe you flip it, maybe. That's a heck of a lot of volume, man. I don't know that I'd be shorting that. So they're stuck, dude. They're stuck. If you actually watch what I say in these videos in the beginning of them, you'll do okay. Swapping volume for margin is okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what do you mean by that? I think you're going to get it, Ed, because I think a lot of those names are going to come in pretty hard on these secondaries. When people start realizing, like, whoa, there's going to be a secondary, like all of a sudden that becomes an issue. I don't know that that's the play. I think the play is the uranium names. Is it 906 already? Thank you. Spotify alike. I think you have to look at that whole uranium stuff. I don't know that there's much to manage. I mean, what do you manage? You just awesomeness? How do you manage awesomeness? I've been trying for years. Like there's nothing really to do with it. Like, what do you do with it? Like, why would you do anything except just keep winning? Like everybody was wrong about the pricing on this thing. Microsoft's coming out and expanding, cloud's exploding. That's what's so funny when I tell people, like, hey, you don't have to chase things, but people are like, oh, but this and that. Like, bro, you're trying to get through the day, you're trying to get through the year. Figure out what kind of trader you are. But if I own it, I don't know why I would do anything with it. Like, I really don't. And you're just going to see the relationship grow. You'll get it. I think they're going to see a lot of this talk tomorrow night. So, I think it's fascinating, dude. I think it's a fascinating spot, that arc. It's up to you, beer guy. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not trying to make everybody in the room happy. Ain't that the truth? You know, I mean, look, dude, like when you look at this thing, it's moved so much so fast. You just got to be willing to deal with it. So I don't. I think that's the issue. I think that people aren't getting the real issue yet. And that's becoming a problem. I'm more concerned about this kind of stuff, the stuff that no one's talking about. And it hasn't really moved that much yet, but like you want to start watching bond volatility. I really think the FOMC notes are going to be huge tomorrow. I got to jump, guys. I got a bunch of stuff that's moving. No, there's no such thing as a pro. I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? But yeah, I don't know. It is kind of lagging. You wouldn't think it would with Europe doing what Europe's doing. You see the divergence. It's one of those things you have to buy and hold. You'll do well in the room, dude, if you pay attention to it. It takes months to get used to that room, the people that are in there. There's nothing like it. When I had people that joined other ones, I got to jump, guys. This SBET is on fire, and I got to position in it. I got to start doing stuff. I got to get on the internets and start trading. Just watch this. I'll give you this. Since I just told you this at 23 and you're already at 31, just watch 35. I got to jump. Trade to win today.